Gestating the Curious Minds involves adult themes and situations. Just a warning.
There you go. You done fucking with the microphone?
No.
I hate that the cat is playing such... Oh, nice. Just turn the goddamn cranks on the side.
No.
God damn it. All right, well, welcome to Gestating the Curious Mind, where we suck from the teat of writing. Do you want to do it the right way?
No, I thought that was beautiful. I'm happy to see you branching out.
I'm not comfortable doing it. I like it better when Mama flies the plane.
Do you want me to do it?
You do it.
Okay, let me do it.
Take your time.
Thank you, I will. Welcome to Gestating the Curious Mind, where we suck from the teat of writing.
You asshole.
We are your entertainers, Glenn and Gertie Nuzzles. Allow us to shine a light on the process of creation for the most splendiferous fiction genre, paranormal smut.
There we go.
I'm Gertie. I'm here today with my beautiful husbands, Glenn, and two cats.
Why are you saying I'm here today with as if you're the one running the show and I'm your guest? God damn it, Gertie. It's a two-person operation. I'm here today with Gertie.
We're lucky enough to have Glenn here today with us to read our most recent short one-off.
Friend of the pod, Gertie, was able to write this for us and did just a fantastic job. You're a great friend of the show. So you did write this just last night.
And today, kind of.
A little bit today. And so the big plan was, let's make this short as hell. Mm-hmm. I kept saying under 30 pages, but boy, did you surprise me how...
I did it in 8.
8 pages.
14-point font. 8
Wow.
pages, dude.
I know, so I can't wait to publish this tweet, basically, of a story. So that's going to be amazing. And so a couple things were thought of that were off show, which was this mall, where does it take place? And for some reason, you were saying it should be in Utah. And then when you were saying, what's the name of the main male lead wolf penis guy? And I was like, well, it should be like, I was saying it should be like women's names in the Mormon culture are always a mashup of two different women's names. So like Stephanie Michelle is Michelini or whatever. And then you came up because you're like, what were you saying? Like his name should be like,
well, we wanted
Damien
it to be,
or something.
Yeah.
Like you had this idea, and I was like, no, it should be a mashup of like two male names if it's going to be in Utah. And you came up with
Damatthew.
Matthew and Damien.
Yeah. So it's a little bit biblical to, try to overwrite the devil.
Yeah. Fantastic. I died laughing when you said Damatthew.
It's fresh. It's fun.
It is fun.
It's sexy.
Fuck you. It's fun. It is sexy. It's very sexy. So Damatthew might be the new name that comes out of this.
I think so. I think we're going to start to see a lot of babies named Damatthew.
I think like 5 to 10 years from now, when people pick this story up and start to like reference it more in pop culture, they're going to be like, maybe Damathew's not a bad boy name. And then like, there's going to be like young couples calling their kids Damatthew.
This is the one that turned the tide because, through writing this, Damatthew really grew on me.
Oh, did he?
And I think he's going to be the kind of role model that you want your sons to look up to.
Well, let's take this little journey then. I want to find out how much of a complex anti-hero? What kind of? We'll find out as we read.
We'll find out. Let's keep it fun and fresh.
All right, prepare for 8 pages of a book being read on a podcast. Damatthew looked upon his kingdom and smiled. The Eddie Bower was packed this time of day, bustling with werewolves looking for new and vaguely outdoorsy but still yuppie clothing items. This was home. He leaned against the checkout counter in a long lunge. Lunge?
Lunge.
What's a lunge? Now I can ask the author.
A lunge is when you... So, if you're doing a...
Hands on the hips?
Standard front lunge, your legs are underneath your hips. And then you take one leg and put it forward and dip down.
Oh, so he's actually exercising.
No,
Oh.
you just didn't finish the sentence.
Freeing his thick woolen member from his leg. So it's kind of an exercise pose to free his dick from his leg.
I was describing what he was doing to release the dick from the leg.
All right, fine. It still works. I'm the problem. It was a small price to pay as a dick wolf. He wouldn't have to worry about the inconvenience of the moon phases, and his body stayed sleek and moist. Never to burst into full fur. He was quite the specimen in his sweet Salt Pit Mall located in Pit Pat, Utah. But he was tiring of the charade. Damatthew was the alpha of this pack. If this meant anything more, in reality, he would parade through the store, releasing an aroo with a satisfying consensus from the other dick wolves at each new end cap, and satisfactorily blocking rows of detritus. Detritus?
Stuff.
I know what that word is.
Flotsam and Jetsam.
But I barely ever say it out loud, so suddenly I can't tell. It's just detritus.
Detritus.
He was growing tired. Sure, Damatthew's penis was larger than the rest of the pack, and yes, werewomen were known to know him biblically. Yet, his fated mate was still beyond his fingertips, and for that reason, he moped. Damatthew stepped through the main entrance into the mall proper and sighed. His glistening chest felt chilled in the cool air of the larger chamber of the mall, despite its lack of direct airflow. A bead of sweat collected at his clavicle and ran down his chest, tracing his well-developed pecs. His nipples were inexplicably hard. What is that? Damatthew's body stiffened. A strange feeling was building in his loins. Aroo! His penis was calling. This was unusual. That is only possible if... Aroo! The scent filled him like a wet pillow. Sweet and thick. She was here. Chapter 2. She was standing in the Panera Bread, gazing up at the menu. There was really no reason for this, as she would order what she always did. A U-pick with...
U-pick 2.
Oh, a U-pick 2, sorry. I've had some stuff to drink.
You haven't gone to Panera enough.
Also, yeah, you're right. So a U-pick 2 is an actual menu item, or just...
Yeah.
Really?
Well, then you can get... like...
Beautiful. Gorgeous. You're gorgeous. God, I love it.
Half a sandwich and a cup of soup? Or half a sandwich and a salad? Or salad and a cup of soup?
Always a half a sandwich?
Or salad and another salad?
A salad and another salad is a you pick two, but if you want to get a sandwich, you get half a sandwich?
No, you can get a whole sandwich.
That's part of the you pick two.
That's an option. No, that's just an option. That's always allowed. You can always do that. A you pick two is you can mix and match.
Okay.
So if you like variety, you like a little bit of everything.
Price-wise, is a you pick two the same as if I just said, can I get a whole sandwich and a whole soup? And it's the same price as a you pick two? Or is there a discount to the you pick two?
The you pick two is less expensive because it's...
That's why you get half sandwich.
Yeah.
Ah.
You can order a full sandwich and a full soup if you wanted to, if you're, if you're getting wild.
A you pick two with a deli turkey sandwich and a cup of black bean soup. But she longed for a bread bowl of cheddar broccoli. It taunted her from the kitchen. Her mother would know. Her mother would smell her breath when she got home, sensing the extra dairy and carbs. Oh, she would be found out. A whining sound was emanating from the space behind her, and she was she really taking that long to order? She turned her head, tossing her stylish haircut over her shoulder. A handsome, wet man was standing behind her. Hello, he spoke. His voice was like cream, his lips sweet and well lubricated. Hi. She wasn't used to talking to boys. She wasn't really like other girls. Her nails, painted the color of the season, disappeared into her hair as she twirled it in her fingers. I'm Damatthew. Can I get you a bread bowl? Oh, smooth talker. She wasn't sure what to... You're moving that cursor all over the place and it's blocking how I read it over here. Oh, we're sharing the same Google Doc, so I can see this... Gertie nuzzles popping all around the screen as I'm reading because you're going up and down. Oh, smooth talker. She wasn't sure what to think of the man behind her. She was suspicious of the gnawing sound coming from his crotch, as if something was trying to chew its way out of his pants. But he was offering cream soup. No, she stated, my usual is a turkey sandwich and black bean soup. His eyes traveled over her form. You seem like the kind of girl who could be tempted with a mac and cheese bowl, or perhaps a bacon turkey bravo. Her mouth was watering. I couldn't, she whispered. Stop moving around the page. I can see you. But it's the Gertie Nuzzles is literally blocking words. It's like a big banner going on. Her mouth was watering. I couldn't, she whispered, her voice thick with desire. Maybe a tomato basil bread bowl with a side of baguette. His eyes were fixed on hers. She was smitten. He watched her appropriately colored lips slurp her cream soup. Dame Matthew was deeply aroused. She was everything she had smelled like. Her body proportions were acceptable and pleasing to the eye. He could sense other wolves watching, waiting for him to slip up. So what brings you to the mall today? Dame Matthew asked. He wasn't really interested in the answer. He just wanted to guarantee her attention was on him. Burp. It's my 18th birthday and I'm celebrating. Also, I think I'm a werewolf or something. Dame Matthew paused. Oh, that was his line. Could she really already know? What makes you say that? He was intrigued now, but not in a good way. She was supposed to need his penis. My mother is very controlling. In my rebellious years, I would look through her things, and I found some paperwork detailing an adoption of a werewolf baby or something like that. I just kind of extrapolated. God, I've been drinking. Hold on, I can do this. Extrapolated.
Good job.
Thank you, Jesus Christ. That I was the baby in question. She shrugged her shoulders in a way that was nondescript, in a sexy way. Have you ever, transitioned? Dame Matthew was trying to sound nonchalant. He prayed this sweet-smelling morsel was fresh. No, but I guess that's why I'm here. Everyone knows this is the werewolf capital of Utah. Oh, crow! She had spilled soup across her chest. How does she spill it? Does it just come off the spoon and dribble down her chest? Or did she hold the bowl open and just poured it on her chest? Doesn't matter. Don't explain it. I'm just asking. And the fabric was becoming more sheer with the moisture. Her chest was there. Her chest was there. Dame Matthew tore his own shirt from his body. Here, let me help you. He dabbed at the affected parts of her torso with the scraps. She was watching him. The sexual tension was as thick as the soup. You want to get out of here? She asked. Dame Matthew frowned. That was his line. Sure. Chapter 3.
No, that's chapter 4.
Damn it. They walked hand in hand through the mall complex. The fluorescent light illuminated the space in a heavenly way, as if we're touched by their newfound love. But tension was brewing. Over there, Dame Matthew gestured to the hot topic, are the full wolves. They get hairy and everything every full moon. Gross, she whispered. Yeah, they're intense. And over at Lids, they're just heads. They're really only wolf from the neck up. She looked over to eye the store in question, noting the collection of smooth-faced kids working. Do they need the moon too? Yes, most wolves do. I'm the alpha of the only clan that doesn't. We're part wolf all the time. She looked him up and down, the question resting on her lips before he cut her off. Of course, the most unfortunate are the leg wolves. I love the leg wolves. He pointed toward the Payless shoe stores, not caring that it was a rude gesture. A group of dudes was leaning against the shelves wearing helmets and moto jackets. Are those not biker wolves going shoe shopping? She asked naively. No, Dame Matthew gritted his teeth. She shouldn't question him. Oh, but they were dressed like bikers, she mused. No, Dame Matthew looked in a different direction. Why do they need helmets if their legs are wolves? Why do they need helmets if their legs are wolves? It's all like every other letter is a capital letter. That's amazing. Dame Matthew mocked. Because their legs turn into wolves. Their faces, where their feet should be, drag them around. It's basic safety. What about them? She was gesturing at the Barnes & Noble, doing her best to ignore the red flags Dame Matthew was displaying. He was just so hot. Period. And wet. Period. Those are the left-hand wolves, so you put them in. Is there a reason for that? She asked innocently. Yeah. Is everyone staring at us? They haven't been careful about pointing out each trope, but they were definitely all watching now. This snapped Damothu out of his butt-hurt stupor. He and Sure were now the center of attention. Are we in danger? This was making her wet. Her average-sized hands were shaking in anticipation. Damothu stepped in front of her as a grand gesture of protection, but they surrounded on all sides. So, from certain angles, it kind of looked like he was hiding behind her. That angered him, so he stepped behind her, but realized it looked even worse. He was wet too, but now it was mostly stress sweat. That was amazing. I smell something delicious, a gruff voice boomed from the encircling wolves. Come on, sweetheart. Don't you want to take another look and see if anything else catches your fancy? The leg wolves had transitioned now and were dragging their torsos as they crept in on her. The circle was tightening. She closed her eyes and went to her mind palace while looking for safety. Chapter 18. She was in a meadow now. This was new. An older woman cloaked in white robes was standing in a beam of moonlight waiting for her. Her wiry white hair was wavy and shiny. A pair of paws poked out beneath her garment. Hello, daughter. The woman's voice was warm and sweet like a fresh cinnamon scone from Panera Bread. I'm so glad to finally meet you. The female main character took a hesitant step toward the woman. Where are we? Oh, this is where your ancestors stay to watch over you and your sacred power. We have been waiting for you. Now that you've come of legal age, as chosen by the governing rules of the municipality you live in, you can inherit your birthright. The main character was feeling all warm and fuzzy inside, and like she was full of strings of old Christmas lights that got hot if they were plugged in for too long. She looked down and found that she just didn't feel glowy. She was glowing. It's time for you to become who you've always been destined to be. The woman turned to leave, making her way toward a darkened path that led away from the meadow. Wait, what is it that I'm meant to be, I mean? The old woman looked back and whispered, and she almost couldn't be heard over the rising sound of ringing bells as the light brightened. Chapter 27. She opened her eyes. It felt like time had stopped, and there was a shift in the vibes. The ring of werewolves was still there, but the warmth and music had followed her from her mind palace. It was all around her. I, am, the wolf mother. She barely recognized her own voice as she spoke the words whispered to her by the crone from the woods. A bright, healing light burst from every orifice of her body and washed out the hall, encircling all the creatures in the vicinity. One by one, each wolf was filled with the light as well, tilting their heads back to reveal beams of light from every hole, as well as perfectly held middle C. Wow. Her power was growing, light spreading down her average-length fingers. She slowly raised her arms, sensing the power coming from deep within her. She closed her fingers to make fists. The wolves began singing in an octave higher. She turned her head and found Damothu in the crowd, who was afflicted just the same as the rest of them. You, in all caps. He staggered toward her, controlled by the light that filled him. There, in front of all the other wolf clans, the wolf mother took him as her mate. She leaned him back and used his penis in such a way that an onlooker may not have been able to tell who was the one doing the penetration. As she orgasmed, she felt the energies of the surrounding wolves begin to waver. They were reaching climax. Each wolf from their respective wolf face was ejaculating. Healing light mixed with bodily fluid was pumping full force into the mall lobby. Slowly, the light receded back into the wolf mother's body, relinquishing the wolves from their enchanted trance. Damothy remained exhausted on the floor. Come, mother whispered. Take me to Sabaro. That was amazing.
The end.
You did an amazing job.
Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
We were going to go back and forth, but you did give me snippets of what I had read last night, and I'm like, if I jumped in to do the next chapter, I just ruined the whole flow of this, because the way I write is really long and boring. So
I like the way you write.
This was perfect. This is amazing. And I love how short it is. I love how it goes from so many pages of just setup to suddenly she's spewing light out of her body.
Yeah.
And you can't tell who's entering who. Because she's so dominant. That was fantastic. Well, as an author, do you got any thoughts about what you wrote? Is there any messages you were trying to, like, is there any symbolism you want to make sure the reader catches?
There is really nothing that I think I have to expand on. It's all pretty self-explanatory. There aren't any hidden Easter eggs.
There's a lot of layers to this.
Oh, yeah?
No. I was hoping you could fill that out for me. But all right.
No, besides where the name Dave Matthew came from, and we already touched on that.
Yep.
And we stated in the brainstorming episode that we weren't going to name the main female character or describe her.
That's why I was dying when you said the main character. That was hilarious.
I had to distinguish her from the other woman in the scene. I guess something that's kind of exciting about this is it passes the Bechdel test. Right, because
two women talked and they didn't talk about the main guy.
Yeah.
Oh, look at you. Good for you.
So that's kind of cool. That wasn't intentional. I'm just such a feminist that, it just comes naturally to me.
I've tried as a writing exercise to write about two women that not talking about the main character man or whatever. And I just can't. I fail every time. So that's great that you can just do it naturally. Wow, you're like a savant. That's fantastic. Huh. Must be great to be a woman.
It's my favorite thing.
Yeah, well, it's my favorite thing too, because you're a cutie when you cough and everywhere.
I know you love it when I wake up choking and.
Yeah, was it not last night, but the night before that I was trying to take a shit and you were in the bedroom going and I finally had to get up and be like, which took me a while to get up because I had to make sure I finished and wiped and washed my hands. Then I came over and touched your face with my clean hand and be like, "Are you okay?" And you're like, "I'm choking. I don't know why." I'm like, "You are everything."
I am beauty. I am grace.
Exactly. You beautiful son of a bitch, you.
Thank you.
Well, all right. I guess that's it. 23-minute long episode.
Yeah.
Anything you want to recap on? You got new eyelashes.
Yes, finally. I was too sick. I had to cancel my eyelash appointment a couple weeks ago. What was that, 2 weekends ago?
Maybe last weekend. I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
No, because I worked last weekend. It was the weekend before. Yeah.
And man, those things are getting ratty. They're big gaps in your eyelashes.
They were really ratty. It was embarrassing. But I'm full. I'm fluffy now. I can bat my eyes at you, and I can see the wind move your hair. So that makes me happy.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I felt that.
Yeah.
You just blinked a lot, and I could feel that over here on this side of the table. Well, all right. Nothing else in our life we're going to talk about? We're just going to kind of wrap it up here? I guess there's nothing else to talk about.
It's only been 5 days.
I know. There's nothing to say.
Nothing's happened. Since,
we don't have a French kid in the house.
We recorded that last one. We went to work. And that's kind of that. We have a home gym that we used once. And that was a great sesh. It's a great sesh. We got to do it again tomorrow, maybe.
Yeah, we should probably do it again tomorrow.
Yeah, get all strong and buff and whatnot. But absolutely nothing else has changed. So.
I do like that Theo came down as we're doing our little workouts.
Yeah.
Like you were lifting weights and I was walking on the treadmill because we were like taking turns doing whatever. Theo came down and just sat on the basement steps and just talked at us about their workday. And then,
so cute.
And then they were like, maybe I should be lifting weights and talking about that and everything else involved with it. And so, little tips and everything. It was kind of cute. So then we might have like a athletic family.
That would be fun. Theo's a little cutie.
Theo's definitely a little cutie. All right. Well, I guess that's all we got to say about that.
Yeah, I've got nothing else. We haven't watched any other TV.
No, there's nothing to talk about.
We haven't watched any other movies.
I just feel like it's kind of like a little bit of a letdown because our last episode, because we were just talking about the story, but man, we're going on for a long time. Here we read the story, we're like, okay, goodbye. So I feel like
bye.
Gotta pad it more. There's nothing to pad though. All right, so I guess we're done.
Bye.
Bye. Want to contact us? Don't. This isn't about you. But if you have to, my email is glenn.nuzzles, Nuzzles, @gmail.com. You can also find us on Twitter, @HouseNuzzle. But don't bother us, because we're too busy working.